My friend, before you take your next breath, I want you to listen not with your ears, but with the quiet space behind them, the place where truth arrives without noise. Every day, people wake up and chase goals, chase success, chase peace, yet they miss the one simple habit that determines whether their life expands or collapses, whether their mind sharpens or weakens, whether their spirit rises or falls. The difference between those who win and those who remain lost is not luck, not talent, not intelligence. It is a daily discipline hidden in plain sight, a practice so simple that most overlook it, yet so powerful that it has shaped warriors, monks, thinkers, and leaders for thousands of years. Today, I will reveal that habit to you. But first, slow your breath, be here, because only those who are fully present will truly understand. Every morning when you open your eyes, before the mind begins its restless search for problems to solve or distractions to chase, you are given a brief moment of silence, a small doorway into yourself. And it is in that moment that the difference between winners and everyone else is formed. Because the one daily habit that separates those who rise from those who remain stuck is the discipline of self-observation, the willingness to sit with your breath, your thoughts, your patterns, and become aware of yourself before the world pulls you in every direction. And the reason this habit is so powerful is because every action you take, every mistake you repeat, every emotion you fight, every goal you never finish, all of it begins in the mind that you carry into the day. So if the mind is clouded, distracted, impatient, your actions will reflect that chaos. But when you begin the day with observation, with stillness, with the quiet sharpening of awareness, you reclaim control of yourself, and control of yourself is the foundation of mastery, because winners are not defined by how much they do, but by how clearly they see. And those who see clearly act with purpose, precision, and discipline, not because they are superhuman, but because they refuse to live unconsciously. They refuse to allow habits of yesterday to shape the possibilities of today. And yet most people wake up and immediately hand their mind away to noise, to their phone, to stresses, to unfinished tasks, becoming servants to their impulses instead of masters of their inner world. But in the Shaolin tradition, the first battle is always the inner one. And the warrior trains not by reacting to life, but by observing life, because observation creates space. And in that space, you can choose. You can direct your thoughts instead of being dragged by them. You can dissolve old patterns instead of repeating them. You can breathe deeply instead of tightening with fear. And when you practice this daily, your decisions become cleaner, your emotions become lighter, your intentions become sharper, and your life begins to move with direction instead of drifting. Because winners are not the ones who try harder. They are the ones who see deeper, who understand that without clarity, effort becomes chaos, but with clarity, even small actions accumulate into transformation. And the breath is your first tool for building clarity, because the breath teaches you presence, and presence teaches you awareness, and awareness teaches you discipline. And discipline teaches you freedom, and freedom teaches you purpose, and purpose teaches you peace. And this chain of growth begins with the simple choice to observe yourself before the world enters you. So sit for a moment each day. Feel your breath move in and out like the tide. Feel the mind settle like sand sinking to the bottom of clear water. And notice the thoughts that arise, not to fight them, not to chase them, but simply to understand their nature. Because self-observation is not judgment, it is awareness. And awareness dissolves illusions, and illusions are the source of suffering. And when illusions fall away, what remains is truth, and truth is power. And in that power, you realize that your life has never been controlled by circumstances, but by the unconscious habits you never questioned. And when you finally begin to question them, when you watch your own mind with calm curiosity, you become the sculptor of your destiny instead of the prisoner of your patterns. And this is what separates winners from everyone else. Not wealth, not fame, not perfect discipline, but this simple willingness to witness themselves honestly each day. Because when you see yourself clearly, excuses lose their strength, fears lose their shape, and distractions lose their control. And what rises within you is the quiet strength that cannot be shaken by external noise, the stillness that cannot be stolen by chaos, and the direction that cannot be confused by temporary emotions. And understand this well. You cannot change what you do not see. You cannot break a pattern you do not recognize. You cannot transform a life you never observe. And most people try to change through force, through willpower, through pressure, yet they never change the root, which is the internal state from which their actions grow. But self-observation transforms the root, because it brings light into the places where habit hides. And when you bring light, habit loses its power, and you begin to live consciously, intentionally, powerfully, and you start to choose your actions instead of repeating them. You start to build discipline instead of wishing for it. You start to move toward your purpose instead of waiting for clarity. And slowly, silently, your life begins to change. Not through struggle, but through awareness. Not through force, but through understanding. Not through chasing success, but through cultivating the mind that produces success naturally. And as days turn into weeks, and weeks into months, this one habit becomes the quiet engine behind every victory, every breakthrough, every step forward. Because winners do not rise in dramatic moments, but through the invisible consistency of inner work. And when others feel lost, winners return to breath. When others react, winners observe. When others panic, winners remain still. When others complain, winners realign. And this is not a gift. They trained this. They built this. They returned to themselves every morning before the world claimed them. And if you want to rise in your own life, then do not start by trying to control everything outside of you. Start by understanding everything inside of you. Because inner mastery always becomes outer mastery. And the person who knows their mind cannot be defeated by life. And the person who knows their breath cannot be controlled by stress. And the person who knows their patterns cannot be trapped by them. And the person who knows their purpose cannot be distracted from it. And all of this becomes possible when you sit each day in simple awareness, observing, breathing, understanding, because awareness is the first victory, and winners win inside long before they win outside. And if you commit to this habit daily, even for just a few minutes, you will begin to see the subtle transformations, the way your emotions become calmer, your thinking becomes clearer, your actions become more intentional, your days feel more guided, and your life begins to align not with pressure, but with purpose. And when you reach this state, you will understand what the ancient masters meant when they said that the one who conquers themselves has nothing left to fear, because you will have stepped into the rare path of self-mastery, the path where true winners walk, not because they are better, but because they are awake. If this teaching has awakened something inside you, then walk with us. Subscribe to Daily Path to Strength, where each lesson guides you deeper into discipline, awareness, purpose, and inner mastery. Leave a comment sharing today's insight and continue your practice. Your path begins here.